So I was reading an article today, and it really kind of just slapped me in the face, kind of snapped me back into reality. I tend to be very optimistic. I am an idealist. My natural go-to is just kind of motivate and inspire people. I've always kind of been that way. But what's more important about me speaking about today is that there's a whole lot of things that are just kind of getting shoved down people's throats, specifically, kids that think or have been fed this lie that, there's so much money in welding and that, there's this big shortage and you got to do it. And I've even said it at times. And so now I want to correct myself if I've misled anyone, and I want to really kind of reiterate that welding is not for everyone. I would love that everyone in middle school or high school would actually try welding, but I know that everyone that tries will not like it. Welding is an amazing opportunity, but only for those that love doing it. I talk about this because not everyone is meant to be dissecting human beings as a doctor or dissecting laws as a lawyer. That different people are wired different ways. So I'd love that everyone would try it and find what makes them most happy. And if it's somebody that or something that makes you happy and you enjoy doing it and it's welding, awesome. It's an amazing opportunity for you. But here's the thing, get into it for your passion for it. Don't get into it for the money and everyone telling you there's this great big shortage. The average age of welders is 55, because apparently that's not actually true. And in this article I was reading, it found out that the average age for welders is actually around 40. So it's pretty average, guys. I mean, what's going on is that the bigger companies don't want to pay high rates for us. So they say there's this big shortage of skill, but they pay low rates, and so they just take anybody off the street. So they complain about not having skilled labor, but they don't want to pay skilled labor rates. That's the issue. That's the problem with them telling everyone all this stuff. Yeah, you start out medium pay rate for welders like $45,000 a year and blah, 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 blah. And, everyone's like, oh yeah, I want to get into that. And there's this big shortage and stuff like that. And there are shortages in places. There really are. But most of the time it's because they don't want to pay right. And eventually they're going to start paying right. But I just wanted people to be aware of that, is don't get into welding just because I'm promoting it and saying it's an awesome thing and everything. I truly enjoy it. I love it. It's my passion. I enjoy welding. I love learning and getting better at the trade every single day. If you don't love it, you're going to burn out on it. If you're just chasing money, I guarantee it. So maybe there's some guys that have a lot more experience than me that want to jump on here. Leave some comments down in the comment. I would really appreciate it. What's some real money? Let's talk real numbers. What are you guys actually making per hour out there in the workforce? And what's your age? What's your average age? How many years do you have in the trade? And maybe it'll help some guys out there that are looking into getting into welding. Let them actually know what the real money is, what's really going on out there, so they're not duped or stooped or whatever into believing that, oh, there's so much money in it, I'm going to chase the money. Don't chase the money. You're going to be very disappointed, and you're going to hit burnout if you are just chasing money. You got to do what you're passionate about. And it all wraps into this final idea that I have, is if we can stack the trade with a bunch of guys that are truly passionate and enjoy welding as, a pastime and just enjoy what they do every single day, I truly believe the trade will be so much better. We're going to fill it with guys that love doing what they do and are constantly trying to get better, have the attitude of excellence, and our trade will be so much better for it. Instead, right now, it's just getting overrun by guys that get lied to, think that they can go make a bunch of money for very little work. It doesn't work that way. If you want to make the good money, it takes a lot of work. It's that way with everything. Everything. Welding is no exception. You can't just go throw some money at a school, learn how to weld, and get out and start making big money. That's just the beginning. Once you get out of that school, have the certification, then you got to go out and then work your way up the ladder in the field. And then 10, 15 years, that's when you start making the big money. Maybe less, maybe you're better. But anyways, back to the whole thing is, get into welding if you're passionate about it. Spread the word if you're passionate about it. Hopefully you'll inspire other people to get into it if that's what they're more natured for, rather than going to college or the military. there is the option, and I want those people to get into it. So, like I said, if you have any comments or anything you want to add to, this is an open forum. I just throw ideas out there, and I love when you guys are commenting and adding to. Let me know, what are you actually making out there as a welder, what you're doing as a welder, making that kind of money. I mean, fab shop, you pipelining, are you in a mechanical room, what are you doing? And then thirdly, tell me your age and your experience, how long you've been doing it. And that would kind of really help everyone when they go to read the comments to understand more on what true pay is, what it really takes to get to where you're at, and what you're making the money in, what specific trade you're doing. Because it's not just welding, obviously. You have to have a trade to apply welding to. Because if you're just welding, you're probably just in a manufacturing setting making $10 an hour as a welder. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will talk to you later.